Hey guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel Tools2Hack. So in the last video we talked about what are file systems, what are the different types of file systems, how to customize your hard disk by partitioning it using the Windows Partition Manager or by a third party partition assistant such as EOMEI. So we prepared our computer to dual boot Kali Linux into it, and in this video we are going to dual boot Kali Linux into our computer. So let's get started. So as you may remember from my last video, I partitioned my F drive to produce an unallocated space of 100 GB to install Kali Linux into it, and I also partitioned my E drive to produce an unallocated space of 2 GB, and the purpose of this is that it acts as a swap area. So swap area is a storage space which will be used as a temporary RAM when the computer is overloaded above its capacity. This is very important because, for example, my RAM is just 8 GB, which means that it can only process 8 GB of data at a given time when you are provided with a great processor. But I have 1000 GB hard drive, so if we execute a large program such as games, there is a chance that our computer would freeze. So we are going to just add this 2 GB space to use as a RAM for our Kali Linux in addition to my 8 GB RAM. Now take a USB or a CD of minimum 4 GB space and plug it in your computer now. As you can see here, I already have my USB of 16 GB storage, and make sure that you have backed up all of your data in the USB because we are going to burn it. Not literally. In the field of computing, burning a disk or drive means erasing all of the contained data permanently. So as you can see, my USB is totally empty so that I may use it as a bootable stick to install Kali Linux into my computer. So to do this, we can just back up all of the data in the USB, delete all of it, and just copy and paste all of the files in the Kali installer ISO into the USB. But then we need to manually format the USB, create a partition table, and make the USB bootable. But we can just automate all of this using an application called Rufus. I highly recommend it because it has a very easy user interface, and it will recommend you the required settings according to the ISO image and the type of USB. So in this website, which is linked in the description below, we can just download the latest version of Rufus, which is 3.12 for now, and download the executable, install it, and open it. So this is the easy interface of Rufus. So in the device section, if you have already plugged the USB or CD and the computer recognized it, Rufus just automatically uses it as the device. But if your device is not mentioned here, you can just click on the drop down menu here and select your external drive, and in the boot selection icon, make sure that it is disk or ISO image, and click on select here and browse to your Kali Linux installer ISO. I have it in my downloads, and click on open. And here you can see that all of the settings is optimized for burning the Kali installer ISO into my USB. So partition scheme is MBR, which means master boot record, and the target system of booting is BIOS or UEFI. And the volume label can be changed. I am just going to name my volume Kali Linux, and the file system it's going to format itself into is FAT32, and the cluster size is 8 kilobytes. So please do not change any of these settings because Rufus automatically sets all of these settings according to the ISO image and the type of USB you are going to use. So the only thing you can change is the volume label, which you can name yourself. And if everything is done, you can click on start right here and choose the ISO image mode. Click on, and here you can see warning, all the data and device USB will be destroyed. To continue this operation, click OK. So this is the burning process. It's going to burn all of the data available in the USB, and it's going to replace all of it with the Kali Linux installer ISO files. So as my USB is already empty, click on OK, and it's going to start the process of burning. It's going to create all the partition systems and automate all the processes for us. So now it has started to copy the ISO files. This may take about 15 to 30 minutes of time, so let's just wait until it's finished. And that's it guys, it's over. So just close and do not remove the USB. Let the USB still be attached to your computer, and go to Windows, go to power, and click on restart. Also guys, when your laptop shuts down and is preparing to restart, you must repeatedly start to press the button that opens your laptop's BIOS. It differs according to the company that made the laptop, but you can just Google it and find out the button that opens BIOS in your laptop. So I am using a Lenovo laptop, and the BIOS opens by either repeatedly pressing F1 or F2 keys. So we can just restart the computer right here with the USB plugged in. Now guys, start pressing the button. And here it is guys, this is my Lenovo BIOS. You can see my product name, my CPU, system memory, hard disk, etc. Here any mouse will not come handy, you must only use the keyboard. So you can navigate through all the options by pressing right, left, top and bottom button. So got to just check some things right here. First we go to security and we must make sure that the secure boot is disabled. So here secure boot make sure that only the operating system that is meant to run on the laptop is allowed to run in the laptop. We do not want that, because as my Lenovo laptop is Windows based, if secure boot is enabled, it will only allow me to run Microsoft Windows. So as we are going to dual boot and run Kali Linux, we are going to check if it is disabled. And next we got to go to the boot section. Here you must make sure that boot mode is UEFI if your BIOS version is also UEFI, and also you must make sure that USB boot is also enabled. And here as you can see, this is my USB device, EFI USB device. As we burned our Kali Linux ISO into my USB using Rufus, it just transformed my USB into a bootable drive. We must select the USB device which has the ISO. Change its boot order is to click F5 or F6. As you can see here, if I click F5 it will go on top, and if I click F6 it will come on bottom. For now we must make sure that the USB device is on the top, so when we exit this BIOS it will directly boot into the USB drive. And you got to press the F10 button to save and exit. Press F10 and save confirmation changes and exit. Yes, click on enter and it's going to boot into the USB drive. Amazing, we are now into Kali Linux installation procedure guys, and here as you can see I have booted from my USB now, and there are many options, namely graphical install, advanced options, dark contrast and speech synthesis. For general use we will always go to install, and you may also choose any of these options according to your preference. So for now I'm just going to click on enter on install. So we must select the language in which the OS will be installed. It will be English for now. Click on enter, and you also got to set the location, because the selected location will be used to set your time zone. I am in India. I am just going to move to India and click on enter. And here we must tell the installer which type of keyboard I have. I have an American English keyboard, so I'll just press enter. So guys, if you get a message like this saying that the firmware files are missing from the USB stick and load the missing firmware from removable media, you can just click on yes for one time and let it load. And if it again shows the same message to you, you can just click on no, because it will not make any significant difference. So go to no and click on enter. And here you can select your Ethernet card your laptop has, and I am not connected to Ethernet. I will always connect to Wi-Fi, so I have no Ethernet card. I will click on enter here, and it shows a message that no network interfaces were found. This is no problem guys. After installation we can just configure the network to connect to our Wi-Fi. So you can just click on continue here, and you must enter the host name for the system. It is a single word that identifies your system to the network. So type something to your preference. I am just going to keep the host name Tools, and then click on tab button to move to continue and click enter. And we must enter the full name for the new user, which will identify us as the default origin for mails and other purposes. Here I will just type in Tools2Hack. And here we can set a password for the new user when we log in to Kali Linux. Click on continue, and you must re-enter the password to verify. So this is one of the important part guys, partition disks. So as you may remember from my last video, we partitioned an unallocated space of 100 GB for Kali Linux and 2 GB space for swap area, and you can use the entire disk, use the largest continuous free space. You can also set up encryption for your disk. We are not going to do this because we already partitioned. So click on manual and click on OK, and here you can see all the partitions available in your hard drive guys. Here you can see this is the 100 GB free space that we made specifically for Kali Linux, and click on enter here. And we got to create a new partition. Click on enter, and the partition size is the same. Click on continue, and you can give a name to this partition. So I am just going to give Kali Linux as the name. and click on continue. And also you must make sure that this is set to the ext4 journaling file system. As you may remember from my last video, Linux works on ext4 file system. So we must just select that and click on enter. And also the mount point must be the root file system so that we may access all the file present in that 100 GB. Click on enter, and other options may not be changed, and you can just click on done setting up the partition. And that's it guys. Here you can see the partition name is Kali Linux. ext4 file system has been made 100 GB to install our Kali Linux into. And next you got to locate to the 2 GB space that we made for the swap area. Here it is. Click on enter, and this is the same partition size. Click on continue, and you can give name to this as well. I'm just going to name it Kali Linux swap. Click on continue, and here you must change the file system to swap area so that the system recognizes this partition as a swap area. Click on enter. Click on done setting up the partition. Do not change anything else. You just got to go down and click on finish partitioning and write changes to disk. Click on enter, and here you can review the changes that we have made. We have set the 100 GB partition as ext4 and the 2 GB space as swap. So you can just move to yes and click on enter. Here it's going to be formatting. Now it has started to install the base system guys. The kernel, the core of the Kali Linux is being installed now. And guys, here is the software selection. We have already installed the base system of the Kali Linux, and here you can customize your Kali Linux by choosing different desktop environments and different collection of tools. Here you can see the desktop environment, Xbase, Genome and KDE Plaza, and the collection of tools is top 10, default and large. So I'm just going to select all of it. To select it, you must hit the space bar, and after selecting all of it, click on tab, go to continue and click on enter. So guys, as I had installed all the 3 display managers, now it is asking me to set a default display manager. So for me, GDM3 will be the best display manager, and just click on enter on it. And at last guys, installation is complete, so it is time to boot into your new system. So the Kali Linux is in place in the 100 GB unallocated space, which is now a new drive. Make sure to remove the installation media. After clicking continue, instantly remove your USB and it will automatically boot into the Kali Linux. Remove the USB now. And that's it guys, Kali Linux on my computer. So let's just let it boot up. And here it is guys, GDM3 login interface. We also installed the LightDM and SDDM display managers. So choosing any of those will only change the login page. So let's click on it and enter your password which you said before and click on enter. You could do this too. Follow my steps carefully and you can have Kali Linux on your computer. In the upcoming videos, we will learn the various tools available in the Kali Linux for information gathering, vulnerability analysis, password attacks and Wi-Fi attacks. Also guys, if you want to switch back into your Windows, just click on the battery icon here and come down to power off. Click on power off and click on restart and wait it to restart. And when the computer shuts down and starts to restart, click on F12 button repeatedly, which will open the boot manager. Here you can select the operating system you want to boot to. Also you can change the boot order in the BIOS like we did before. So like and share this video if you found it helpful in any way, and subscribe to my channel to follow me along this journey, and hit the bell icon to receive notifications instantly when I post a video. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.